Armenia and Azerbaijan are holding talks over the fate of the flashpoint region of Nagorno-Karabakh. It has long been a source of conflict between the two countries, dating back to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Azerbaijan regained control of parts of the region from Armenia in 2020 after 6 weeks of fighting. But this week, that conflict was reignited after Azerbaijan launched what it called an anti-terrorist operation. It claimed that 4 of its soldiers and 2 civilians were killed by Armenian-planted mines. Now, Russia helped broker a ceasefire. Now officials from both sides are holding talks, with the status of the region hanging in the balance, along with the fate of Armenians who live there. Hagar Shamali joins us now. She is the host of Oh My World on YouTube, a former spokesperson for the U.S. mission to the UN and former NSC director for Syria and Lebanon. I'm so glad to have you with us because we've kind of done quick headlines on this week, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. So talks began yesterday with this region, Nagorno-Karabakh, at the center of discussion. Tell us more about this region and why Armenia and Azerbaijan are at odds here.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually complicated, and it dates back hundreds of years ago. Ethnic Armenians have lived there for centuries, literally centuries. And the area was acquired by Russia in early 1800s. In 1923, Stalin gave this area made it an autonomous oblast. That is a very important point. So every time I hear that Azerbaijan regained this territory, it's not really accurate, because it's been autonomous and self-governed by the ethnic Armenians who've lived there for literally 100 years. And to begin with, it was kind of mistakenly put in Azerbaijan's borders because it was divided by a mountain range, and this was all under the Soviet era. And so this issue that Stalin planted the seeds for, how he put it within Azerbaijan's borders but made it autonomous, is what sowed the seeds for the crisis you have today. When the Soviet Union fell apart, this area wanted to join Armenia. It couldn't, and a war was created, and that is how it became self-governed and gained land beyond Nagorno-Karabakh.
So we've seen decades of conflict, neither side showing willingness to compromise. Right now, what we're seeing, is it history repeating itself? Is there a possible solution here?
So you have a few major things at stake here. Number one, this population has been submitted to surrender through starvation. The dictator of Azerbaijan has been ethnically cleansing this area. He has been targeting this population because of their ethnicity, full stop. And it is because he wants them out so that he can have this land for himself. That's literally the definition of ethnic cleansing. So number one, you have at stake continued ethnic cleansing of this population. And that is why you now have thousands who are moving, who have evacuated over the last couple of days. Number two, you risk the destruction of centuries-old monasteries there. That's the other one. The third, the last, is that, and this is significant, this is a message to dictators all over the world and individuals all over the world, that if you repress a minority, and if you commit ethnic cleansing, the world will look the other way and allow it to happen, especially if there are other geopolitical concerns there. And that is what happened here. The U.S. and Europe had the tools to stop the starvation that was happening, and yet they let it continue because of the relationship right now between Azerbaijan and Europe and the U.S. over the war in Ukraine.
So real quickly, what are the consequences here if we don't see a resolution?
It sends a message to dictators all over the world that they can perpetrate war crimes and genocide without any kind of impunity. And the only solution, to be honest with you right now, is sending a UN peacekeeping force to ensure the protection of the individuals there, and referring this case of Azerbaijan's dictator to the International Criminal Court.
Any sign that'll happen with the UN?
Unlikely.
All right.
Perhaps the peacekeeping force, but that's it.
All right. Hagar, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.